Yo, it's crypto blood, Detroit flow, screaming from the D, knowing what to show. Indicators are on point, OG since 12, investing in trade, living life like a pro. I'm Rucker, Jerry, it's just blood too. Bad motherfucker in a good way, boo. Got my eyes on the charts, ain't no time to sleep. Get that money, gotta keep it creep. That's my crypto blood, just the toasters on the line. Stacking my coin, got the market on my mind. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum too. Cash is king, but I'm looking for a new move. I know the culture of the markets like the streets. Got my finger on the pulse, can't nobody beat. I see the trends, I see the flow. Got my strategies in place, you know.
Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin, stacking my coin. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, cash. Since I was born, been stacking my coin. These niggas pop, my money keep growing. Your girl is a dot, she all on my groin. She blowing my horn, we fuck like porn. These rappers is whack, they lyrics is corn. I'm getting this money, it never get born. Load on my strap, they calling law. Fuck around, they get clapped for running your jaw. If it ain't about the dollars, then it don't make sense. Got me sipping brown water, but it ain't from Flint. Trying to chase all this bread, though the shit won't last. About to shut the city down like a crypto crash. Stacking my coin, stacking my coin.
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks! We'll do it live. Okay.
Holy moly! We're back at it, ladies and gents. It's your boy Crypto Blood. Welcome to the show. We got a couple people already in the building. Let's go, let's go. Hyden in the house. Jordan Johnson in the building. And, of course, my guy Jason Lynn's in the house. What's good? What's good? We are dropping precipitously. How you like that one for a $5 word? We're dropping, man. And I'm going to go over some stuff here today that should cause some concern for you in regards to crypto and in the state of crypto, where we are. We're seeing huge decoupling events going on with crypto and traditional finance, NASDAQ to be more specific. And we got to really dive into that for today's episode. Let me pull up first. Of course, you guys know all trades that you see on this live stream is powered by none other than Bloodalytics, ladies and gentlemen. Bloodalytics.com. Link is in the description below. You can scan that QR code. I'm using usually on the stream the Scalpalytics Pro, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Wisdom Bar says we live to see another day in Bitcoin thanks to Asian men and women. Salute to them. What? What are you? So Satoshi Nakamoto is Asian. I guess you're right. Hey, shout out to the Asians, the Asian persuasion for creating Bitcoin. Thank you for creating Bitcoin. Hey, I mean, the name is definitely it ain't black. Satoshi Nakamoto ain't a black name, that's for sure. If it was a black name, it would be Sean. Give me a black name for Satoshi Nakamoto, ladies and gentlemen. I want to hear your best black inventor name for Satoshi Nakamoto. Sean or no, Daquan Williams or something like that. You know how we do. Bitcoin down 20K this month. Bitcoin wasn't even 20K 3 years ago. Patience is a key. Hey, I like that perspective. Time in the market, not timing it. Bloodalytics. Hey, well, we try to time it on the daily, baby. We smack that ass on the daily, boy. Don't play around with us over here with that Bloodalytics now. Satoshi looking ass. Oh man. Hey, my good friend has said, he said Satoshi is black. My good friend has said Satoshi is black. I don't know if you can know who I'm talking about. Quentin Johnson Harris. Come on, man. That don't sound that good. We're dropping right now, and I'm going to go over some things that you should know about pertaining to your strategy. All of this is for entertainment, of course. None of this is for your investment advice. It's just pure entertainment over here at the Red Nugent channel. But let's look at this though. I want to show you first where we are with Bloodalytics. So Bloodalytics smacked them again today. Man, I need to up the charge, bro. I need to up the charge on this Scalpalytics Pro, man. Hey, we might be going up to price, like Wu say, price is going up, baby. Price is going up, man. If you're grandfathered in, you're grandfathered in. I can't let this type of stuff go for the amount. So you better sign up sooner than later because prices are going up. Bloodalytics, we went short again right before the New York Open. This is when I tell you guys to use Bloodalytics, the Scalpalytics Pro, right around. I mean, you can try to use it in the Eurozone, but many times you get the false trades like you saw today. It doesn't happen every time, but it lessens the likelihood of you seeing the false signals. If you start to trade, look for trades near the open of the US, and it is going to be a glorious time for you almost every time. I can't say every time, nothing's 100%, but we went I'll zoom in a little bit for us. Went long right here this morning at 9 o'clock. I'm sorry, not long. We went short this morning on Bitcoin at 9 o'clock precisely. Short right here. Took 50% of our profits right here. Another 25%. And we still letting this bad boy ride out right now, ladies and gents. We're letting it ride out as it drops. Okay. Ethereum, very similar scenario. We went short at 8:30 this morning on Ethereum. Took 50% of our profits right here. Another 25, another 25, and we're letting the rest ride out as well. So there you go. I used to trade a little. I used to go live a little earlier and trade the Scalpalytics Pro live, but that's giving you the meat potatoes. That's giving you the good stuff for free. I can't give you that, man. Sorry. Lil Toshi, not too low though. I like that. Lil Toshi. I like Lil Toshi. Yeah, I like Lil Toshi. We're gonna do a Lil Toshi for sure. We're doing Lil Toshi. AI Griffin in the building. He said CryptoFacius entered a Milli Forex 46x short and it's up. Nice. Scottie Pippen said that ish. That's funny. Yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button. Reggie Middleton. Oh, that's a good name. Reggie reached out to me. Reggie, if you're watching, bro, you reached out to me to tell me to reach out to you. You know how Reggie does. He reached out to me to tell me to reach out to him on a different platform. I do that, and I never heard back from him. So, Reggie, hit a brother up, man. Trying to get you on the channel for sure. Definitely trying to get you on that channel, my boy. So today we got to look at what happened yesterday. Somebody asked me about this too in yesterday's stream. CB, what do you think about Nvidia and the earnings report and everything? And I said, come on, man. The game is rigged, my guy. It's going to they're of course going to have outstanding stellar earnings. Of course, because the whole system is hinged on Nvidia. So they're never going to, you're never going to see it where Nvidia is the linchpin for you to see markets roll over. It's going to have to come from somewhere else. It ain't coming from Nvidia. Not at all, my friend. That is not going to happen. So, yeah, Nvidia did its thing. Of course, we'll take a look at that. But what does that mean for Bitcoin? Because you would think that would mean something positive, but unfortunately, we're seeing something very different and odd occurring with Bitcoin right now, which is concerning to me. Highly concerning to me. We'll quickly look at CNBC, TradFi, traditional markets. Look at that, man. Look at that. NASDAQ up 1.4% today. What the hell? Dow Jones up almost 1%. It was up 700, 600 points earlier. It's pulled back a little bit. But as you can see, we have what's called the D word. Okay, the D word is happening. The D word is happening in crypto, and it is concerning to me. The D word is decoupling. We're seeing a decoupling of Bitcoin and the NASDAQ, but not in a good way for Bitcoin and cryptos. It's going the opposite way of what the NASDAQ is doing. And I'm gonna deep dive into it a little bit today. We're gonna take a look again at I love bringing this up. I'm gonna bring it up now so I don't forget. We'll look at the table of monthly returns, historical monthly returns for Bitcoin, compare that to the yearly returns, and then compare that to NASDAQ's returns, and you'll see a stark trend. It's a circle jerk, says RK. It is. Yeah, it is. These nuts definitely happening, and it sucks right now. Pause. Yeah, man, we're dropping, man. We're dropping big time, bro. Like, it's very concerning. We're at $88,000 Bitcoin. I'll bring up the main chart here too. We got to definitely look at the main chart. Definitely got to look at the main chart. Let's bring that up really quick. Hit that like button, guys. We just we just took out the V. We literally just right now took out the V on. I'm gonna tell you, man, it's so crazy because last night I'm sitting up there watching Peter Schiff, and I'm just shaking my head because I'm like, damn, can a brother get some props? What Peter Schiff said last night in his podcast was exactly what I've been saying for a very long time. He's spot on, man. My strategy, called strategy now. Strategy is going to ruin the price of Bitcoin. Not necessarily the functionality of Bitcoin, but as it unwinds or as NAV goes negative, it just honestly, it doesn't even have to go negative. It can't go to zero. If that NAV window closes and it's at zero, they're in trouble. They will not be able to raise any more debt to buy more Bitcoin because no one in their right freaking mind is going to lend them money. Basically, I mean, you're giving them money, getting in return Class A shares that has no dividend. You're just throwing away money. And Peter Schiff, if you want to know kind of what I'm talking about, go watch Peter Schiff's stream last night. I hate to say that he's spot on, but he is, and he's echoing exactly what I've been saying for over a year now about MicroStrategy. So Elmo is lurking. Oh Lord, man. Don't summon Elmo. But honestly, bro, it can't get that bad. Just for a quick second. I don't think it's gonna stay at Elmo levels, but as this shit unwinds, as MicroStrategy is forced to stop buying first. The stop buying right there is key. Because that's what Peter Schiff talked about last night. He's like, and it's so funny. Is he watching my show? I don't know what the hell. Couldn't be watching my show, but MicroStrategy has been the biggest buyer of Bitcoin, at least last year for sure. It bought 40% of the float of Bitcoin last year. So if they stop buying, that's strike number one. Okay, they stop buying at strike number one. Actually, that's like strike number 2. If they stop, yeah, Peter's been wrong. He for sure has. Good God Almighty, he has cost his followers so much money. Cost you so much money if you just followed Peter Schiff. And I was watching Peter Schiff back before I found out about Bitcoin. And I'm glad he wasn't as vocal about how it wouldn't matter because I still would have been buying. But yeah. CBTY, that's right. Crypto Blood told you. There you go, my God. There you go. Steve Hickey in the house. What's going on, my guy? Hit the like button. I thought BlackRock was the biggest holder. They might be the biggest holder, but MicroStrategy bought the most in 2024. If he watches your show, he would have got out at the top. AI Griff, my God, you're on it, bro. Crypto Blood told you is why he's the reason Bitcoin is selling. Oh, Lord. As well as Jim Cramer. Man, jeez Louise, guys. This is crazy. This is crazy. The D word as the market about to get the D from Nvidia. Good God Almighty. Listen, do you think all these big players in TradFi are going to get in 2/3 of the way through the bull run? Everyone in crypto needs to take their beating. Exactly. That part too, bro. That part too. But, you know, it's not even a conspiracy theory, AI Grip. This is not some like plan by, you know, the big players from TradFi to like punish everybody. These are market forces working because the big players are in the market, but they've shown their hands. The big player being predominantly, I'm talking about strategy, MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor. He's the big player. He's bought a whole bunch of this shit. So he's in big time, bro. Billions and billions of dollars. So he's definitely shown, he's in there and he's showing his hand. But when you show your hand, the markets are gonna spank you. They're gonna spank that hand with a ruler. You remember how you used to get that hand? Put your hand out. What you been doing? What you doing, boy? Put your hand out. Pah! That's what the market's gonna do to MicroStrategy. Spank that hand. Because they've got too big of a stronghold on a very small industry, a very small asset class. So when that happens, the markets are gonna test you and see if you really about that life. And MicroStrategy ain't about that life. They're really not, because the way they accumulated Bitcoin, it was in a way where it was destined to fail. Absolutely destined to fail. Now, if they were buying, let me put it to you this way, and we'll get to Nvidia in a second. Hit the like button right now, ladies and gentlemen. Please support the channel. Get the algo moving. We got to get more views. All right. But here's the thing. If MicroStrategy would have been purchasing Bitcoin, like my guy Hyben says, raw Bitcoin, no leverage or anything like that, not going out selling shares to then, you know, to raise capital to buy Bitcoin and all this extra finance shit they were doing. If they were just buying raw Bitcoin and focused on their actual business model, their core competency, which was software development or whatever, if they would have focused on that, made revenue from their core business and took 10%, 20%, if you want to be aggressive, 30% of their revenue, and allocated it to raw Bitcoin every quarter or whatever, every week or whatever the case may be, different story. Would have been a genius move. Bitcoin wouldn't have been as high as it is, but it still would have been a better, smoother move for MicroStrategy. Instead, Saylor got greedy and he went and did all this extra financing and creative financing shit that these Wall Street guys do. And he's painted himself into a corner that he will not be able to get out of. He will not be able to get out of. Crypto dead is either buy this meme coin or Bitcoin going to million. No one uses the tech. No one does use a tech, and that's why I stopped covering the kind of like tech development and evolution of this space, because there is none. The blockchain technology is not being used in any, the decentralized versions are not being used in any form or fashion right now. Will that change in the future? Possibly. But right now, 13 years into my journey in this space, it ain't been done. The only reason they have life is because they purchased Bitcoin. But like Peter Schiff said last night, who has a business model where they just buy Bitcoin? It's the most idiotic thing that I've ever seen in my life. And I'm just like, how is everyone thinking this is like a Bitcoin treasury company? Is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life. That's like somebody having a company that literally just buys gold and they just sit there and they don't do anything else. Gold doesn't yield anything. Bitcoin doesn't yield anything. It's not a yielding asset. So how do you long-term make money and generate revenue from that? It's a Ponzi scheme. It's a complete Ponzi scheme. If you're a mining company, different story. It's a brutal business, but at least with a mining stock, a Bitcoin mining stock, they've got they've got capex. They've invested in capital. The capital is mining equipment and infrastructure for all of that, warehouses and everything. In return for their investment, they yield something. What they yield is new Bitcoin. That's a real business model. It's a real business model. But buying Bitcoin in and of itself is not a business model or a revenue generating model. And it's just so crazy. All these smart white men got all these degrees from Yale, Harvard, and wherever, Wharton Business School and all that. I can't believe that Bitcoin treasury companies are actually a thing. It's that like Peter Schiff said last night, it really is a fraud, and people should go to jail for even being able to do this. Now, they shouldn't have even been able to do this. Honestly, they shouldn't have been able to go public. But it just lets you know that we are at a phase in capitalism where it is predatory capitalism. It's predatory capitalism. They prey on the weak, meaning the ill-informed. They go public, they take your money, and they run off with the plug twice, like Ply. Jason Lynn says, well, majority of Americans are idiotic, so you can't blame them, CP. You're right. You're right, bro. I mean, spot on. Unfortunately. Sailor tried to corner the market. Yeah, but like I said in yesterday's video, Mastermind, cornering the market gets your ass spanked. Like the Hunt brothers. They tried to corner the silver market back in the day. They got their asses slaughtered. Yeah, where is default? Default, man, where you at, bro? Let us know. Did you see Blood? Did you see they have a new Bitcoin miner that doubles as a house heater? Heats a 10,000 square foot home. I believe, because back in the day, I used to actually heat my home with my mining rigs. Swear to God, bro. When I was mining Dogecoin, Litecoin back in the day, I was heating my home with my rigs in the basement. They give off an extreme amount of heat. The way I had them built, I had crates. I built my rigs in crates. I put the motherboard at the bottom of the crate. I hung the snap and zip tied the GPUs to the side of the crates. Had everything in there and had about 6 crates on there humming all day long. And in the winter, oh my Jesus, did not have to do any of that heating. But the I don't know, man. I'm sure they've gotten better, but the electricity bill was pretty damn high. But it was definitely worth it. I made way more money than the electric bill. I'm just saying it was very high. Woo in the building. My guy. If people aren't able to recognize the pattern its own, I've learned the hard way trying to save everybody ain't good for the soul. It sure isn't, bro. 10 pound, my guy, 10. I haven't seen 10 pound in a minute. Not just the dollar. Every fiat currency backed by a central bank is fraudulent. Yeah, because of the dollar system. What was that mining rig behind you? That's now this is an ASIC. That's an ASIC. That's later in my mining career when I started having to do ASICs because the game had changed. Of course, quite naturally, Crypto Blood bought a red one. You know what I'm saying? I had to get the red. I saw the red ones. I said I had to go get the Blood game red ones on them. Let me show you. This bad boy. God, it's heavy. But gold miners, the Falcon. It's just a big ass. It's just a big ass paperweight now. But I had about, I got another one down here that's still wrapped up. I never even unwrapped this one. It's still in the bubble wrap. I had about 6 of those running ASICs. Bro, I was making damn near $1,000 a day for a good minute. So I've been doing this for a long time, my guy. I've racked up a lot of coins. Let's see, Hyman. Well, milk crates like the old school basketball goals. Yes, just like that. That's exactly what I use. Enzo in the building. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man. Let's get into this. Let's get into this business today, guys. We got to analyze. We got to analyze NASDAQ, Nvidia. But let's start here. Let's start before we get into Nvidia. I want to just show you this really quickly. We got I was kind of bringing up this this chart to you guys the past couple of weeks, and let me get my big head out the way. You'll see these are the yearly returns of Bitcoin, and currently we are at -2% on Bitcoin. Very concerning. It's very concerning when you put it in context. What is the context? What am I comparing this to? I mean, here's a table. It shows you kind of where we are with Bitcoin. We've got -2% right now in 25. Last year was a great year. The year before that, an excellent year. All this correlates with, I'm gonna be honest with you, the stimmy bucks. Can't believe, we had a -64% here, but overall, this 2020, the stimmy bucks started rolling in, and that money had to go somewhere, and it always goes into speculative assets. So you saw Bitcoin do very well over that span from 2020 up into 24. Biggest year being, of course, 17. That was the ICO boom. That was when Wall Street got into the game. Okay, 17. So that was a big boost from Wall Street. Nvidia is doing God's work on the market. And so that's hilarious, bro. That's funny. That's absolutely funny. So look, so there's your returns, right? But we got to put context with this. The context and what's concerning with this situation, and we'll look at month-to-month returns here in a minute. Let me stop sharing. I know you guys are hearing that cha-ching. That's the money printer going on. Let me mute. Maybe if I mute, it will not do that. But let me show you. Let me show you why the context. I got to put this in perspective. So what is this chart? This chart is yearly returns of none other than NASDAQ. That's right, NASDAQ. So this is insane, bro. Like, the bubble is real. For an indice to do these types of numbers, bro, it's something, and it's something really wrong. And an indice doing 53% in 1 year. That's insane. 2022, negative 32. I didn't even realize it did that badly in 22. But at any rate, guess where we are? We're damn near got one more month left in the year, right? NASDAQ return 17%. You heard that right. 17%. Bitcoin's return negative 2%. Houston, we've got a problem. We got a problem. The decoupling is real. The decoupling is real. And it's twofold. Remember, Bitcoin is a pretty much direct correlation with U.S. liquidity. I don't know where liquidity is right now, but I would assume we're drying up because of what we have going on in the repo markets. There are issues in the repo markets, under the plumbing of the banking system, how banks finance overnight lending, all that. That's liquidity, right? That's drying up. And I feel like that's what's showing here. But you would have to question, well, if liquidity is drying up, why aren't we seeing that reflected in the NASDAQ? Because the NASDAQ, it's in itself, the NASDAQ 100 is not a reflection of, like, purely a reflection of liquidity. It's supposed to be more so a reflection of earnings, and earnings are lagging. So you will not see the illiquidity issues we're having in the NASDAQ, in the Dow Jones, in the S&P. You won't see that right away because those are more so reflections of earnings. And that takes some time for illiquidity to show up in and reflect in earnings reports. This is why you're seeing a decoupling. So if you were a clever individual and you're in the stock game, you might want to be looking at taking some put options out on NASDAQ, because the decoupling ain't Bitcoin wrong and NASDAQ right. It's Bitcoin right and NASDAQ wrong, or I should say NASDAQ late. Bitcoin early, NASDAQ late. So my thing would be to, if I were playing this game, and I might have to go on to Robinhood and go ahead and put some put options out there on the NASDAQ, because best believe me, the Bitcoin ain't about to go follow NASDAQ again. The decoupling is going to be NASDAQ going to follow Bitcoin again. If Bitcoin was directly correlated with M2, we'd have a multi-million-dollar Bitcoin. Aha! But 10 pound, you've heard me say this, my friend. We should have a multi-million-dollar Bitcoin. But because Wall Street co-opted Bitcoin way back in 2017, to be honest with you, 17-18 is when Wall Street stepped in and started their manipulation game, their plan. That is when the manipulation really started, and we should be at $1 million or more. But because they're in the game, they're suppressing it, they're manipulating it. That's why we're not at $1 million. We should be. You're right. I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. So that's the dichotomy. We got a negative 2% return this year on Bitcoin, but yet a 14% return, 17% return on NASDAQ. That is an issue. That should raise some eyebrows for sure. Let's really quickly look at, before we look at the NASDAQ, Nvidia earnings, let's take a look at this table that I love to go over on the streams just to keep us in the loop on what's going on Again, only a couple of times or 3 times, but I'm not including 2014. A couple of times we've seen a red October. We just printed one last October, and we're now down negative 16% for November. Are we going to get here? Are we going to go here or lower or near here? Chances are we are. Chances are we are. I can see another 10% lower, and another 10% lower would ironically put us where? Another 10% lower will put us right at the line. $79,000 Bitcoin. Look at that. Look at God. Look at God. $79,000 Bitcoin, $80,000 Bitcoin. That is the trend line that I'm looking for as a target. And I think we get there by the end of the year. Now, do we get a bounce from there? It's possible. It's possible. But the bounce, it all is predicated on, again, double-edged sword. Everybody ranting and raving and calling Michael Saylor a genius, and oh man, how could we be like him? Well, when we're at $80,000 Bitcoin, if he's forced to start selling, then we got a huge problem. We're going down here to CL because it's a cascading effect. All the other treasury companies are going to follow suit, and it's just going to be a cascading negative feedback, self-enforcing, reinforcing, I should say, behavior, and they're all going to start selling. Maybe not all the Bitcoin, but you don't need to sell all your Bitcoin. You just need to sell a little bit from each company. And because this market is so thin, it's going to cause us to dip down pretty damn low. 60s, maybe even 50s. The bleed out is real, but guess what? One of the best buying opportunities, I think, in the last 10 years. So, but you got to have dry powder. You can't be in here with your pants down, meaning all in, and we're down here at $50,000 Bitcoin, and you're down 20% and you're all in. You ain't got no more cash. Hey, I said, yeah, bounce at 78. There you go, man. Hey, you spot on. 79, $80,000 Bitcoin. We ain't too far, bro. 10% ain't nothing, man. We could do 10% over a weekend. You know, that's easy work for Bitcoin. How do you feel about Metaplanet? They following in suit, but they make money in hotels. Never really looked at Metaplanet. That's they mine in hotels or something, right? Or something like that. The network does work better at a higher price because the data is too expensive to spam and flood with garbage. Understandable. Understandable. Yeah, but that's the thing. Of the beautiful thing is Bitcoin does work at 50 cents a dollar, 10,000, a million, 200 million. It doesn't matter. What the fuck is Bitcoin doing? Exactly what I thought it would, my friend. You got some major players unwinding. Liquidity crisis is real in TradFi. Repo markets are freezing up. Bitcoin is a direct correlation with liquidity. The less liquidity, the worse Bitcoin does. It's really that simple. There's no other analysis to really make on Bitcoin. It's not sexy, I know, but it is what it is. It is what it is. So that's where we are, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we are with things. Let's take a look at this NASDAQ Nvidia situation. So Nvidia, like I thought, right on cue, duh, they're not going to let Nvidia Nvidia is not going to let itself show a negative or not beat earnings. They're going to have positive earnings for the quarter for sure, but they were never going to allow themselves to underperform forecasts. So Dow rallies 700 points as Nvidia reignites AI trade. NASDAQ jumps nearly 4%. Bada boom, bada bing. So stock surged Thursday after a blockbuster quarterly report and forecast from Nvidia's restored confidence in AI trade, driving the bull market. Okay. NASDAQ shares leaped 4% after the chip maker released its highly anticipated quarterly results, which beat Wall Street, of course, earnings and revenue expectations. The market-moving company also gave a stronger than expected fourth quarter sales forecast, with CEO Jensen saying demand for its current generation Blackwell chips are off the charts. He also rejected the idea of an AI bubble. Right now, the bear thesis is falling apart, and I feel so bad for Michael Burry, man. I feel bad for Burry. I gotta take a shot of apple cider on this one. Feel sad for Michael Burry, because you can be right, but just right too early, and that's never a good thing. You got to be right on time, unfortunately. Speaking of AI Griff, I'm just seeing this. So look, it's funny. Somebody in my comments on the comment section under one of my videos actually is permaculture bear or permaculture mom or something. She said that she was having difficulty withdrawing Tether from USDC from Coinbase the other day. Kept giving her an error. Wonder what that's about. Why does everyone think December will be any better? I don't know who's thinking that. The only way December is better is if they come through and they, meaning the Federal Reserve or Treasury, they come through and do some type of magnificent, monumental repo market bailout. You might get a pop there. But we know the debt and the money game is so big now. Any reprieve, any relief is only going to, the shelf life, the half-life, it gets shorter and shorter and shorter. You need more and more and more and more. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know why people still use Coinbase, man. Oh, Cloudflare could have been. Yeah, could have been pertaining to Cloudflare. I didn't think about that. That's a good point. So we got stocks cut gains as Nvidia led rally fizzles. Oh. I've seen them pull up with ribbons. Repo, redrove, and redriven. Resold and redriven. So we are starting to get a fade. I didn't even realize this. Round Hill. This is a crazy. Round Hill Magnificent 7. They got an ETF for the Magnificent 7, boy. They're the modern day drug dealers, man. I'm telling y'all. This stock market shit, the Wall Street is just, it's a dirty game, man. It's a dirty game. It's crazy, man. So we are getting a fade on the initial pop from this morning. And that only is going to hurt Bitcoin even more. As you see, as we drop, we're dropping. We're starting to drop even more. All right. So yeah, this is insane, man. This is insane. Now let's look at this this video about Nvidia's earnings real quick. See if this works. Let me know if you hear the volume on this.
evening and gave a pretty strong indication that AI is continuing to boom. The report came at an interesting juncture in the AI boom. There's been this feeling of, okay, this boom has reached a state where it's almost become artificial in some ways, or it's being propped up in some ways by Nvidia.
This AI bubble talk continues to lead many conversations.
People talk about an AI bubble, these AI stocks propping up the market. Is the bubble starting to burst?
So Nvidia's results today kind of showed that Nvidia can still grow. It's still doing very well. It still has improving prospects. And so that's really setting people's minds at ease around the state of the trade. When Nvidia reports its sales, it's effectively saying, this is what the demand is for AI computing power. And the demand for AI computing power reflects how much confidence the buyers of those chips have in AI itself. This quarter has been an especially consequential one, just because of the backdrop here. Before this earnings report, its stock fell about 10%. And there have been all these concerns recently about the AI boom being potentially a bubble. Investors have been very jittery about any stocks tied to AI, including Nvidia, including companies that do AI cloud computing like CoreWeave and Nebius and some others. While this report certainly is being received well in the markets, I don't think it calms all of the concerns around AI in general. None of the stuff that people have raised as issues with the AI boom has gone away. I mean, there are still a lot of circular dealings between companies like Microsoft, OpenAI, Anthropic, and Nvidia, clearly. And there are concerns around the level of spending that's going into AI and the lack of commensurate returns on that spending. None of that has really eased. But at least for now in the markets, it seems like people are pretty happy with how Nvidia is doing, and they're pretty happy that there's no indication of a slowdown.
By the way, that black leather jacket that Jensen wears, man, boy, that's a sharp jacket. Round of applause to, yo, that's Michael Jackson cool. That's Michael Jackson cool with the 6 zippers. I've seen him with a crocodile one too. I'm like, good God, oh my, he must be from the D. I wonder if he had the big block gators on with that bad boy too, man. That jacket is out cold. I gotta get me a Jensen Nvidia jacket. So yeah, it's interesting take there by Wall Street Journal. I don't know, man. I just feel like we're in a bad situation right now with crypto, guys. Have some dry powder ready to buy at lower prices. I feel like it's definitely the playbook. So let me know what you guys think. If you're, it seems like a lot of you are agreeing with that strategy. No pun intended there, Michael strategy. But lower we go, I think, until we get some visibility on the repo market bailout package. I know it's coming. They had an emergency meeting last Friday, so they're talking. If it gets any worse, they're going to do something. So you will see a pop. There's a risk for a pop. There definitely is a risk for a pop in the market, a rip rally from some action taken by the Federal Reserve and the Treasury. But that rally should be faded. That's your opportunity to get out and get some more dry powder if that does happen, which I think it will happen. It may rally for a week or so, but that's your cue to fade the rally. That's your cue to fade the rally. I mean, the actual downturn trend, like here's the downward trend line you should be watching right here. I'm going to just point this out really quickly. Okay. So there's a possibility, if I get that right, see if let me zoom in. And I'm going to change the color of this really quickly to Cameron pink. All right. So here we go. I'm kind of liking that trend line. I can actually adjust it a little bit more to about right here. Yeah, that's closer to what I like. But this line here, we definitely can get a run up You know, if we head lower first, we could get if we bounce off 80, right? We can get a run up to this line, which is 20% run. That's a nice move up. That's a nice rally up. Don't think we can't get a 20% rally. But you know how percentages go. It takes a doubling to go back up. So let's, for example, if we drop 5%, it takes 10% to get back, or roughly to get back to that point. So it's harder to regain something that you've lost half of. You got to double it. So it's going to be an effort to get back up there, but you definitely can see by the end of the year a rally up to this trend line, taking us back to $86,000. That would be, if you're not out yet, would be your opportunity to draw some dry powder and get ready for the next leg down. Is the Fed cutting rates next month? I don't think so, bro, because frontal lobe Trump, he's all over the place, but he has basically said you're not getting the jobs report number for October. This shit is just unbelievable, bro. Like what we're witnessing right now is going down in the history books, man. It's some fugazi stuff, man. I tell you that for sure. Insane. So that's it for today. Got some special guests coming in on the channel tomorrow. We got Army Piper coming in tomorrow to be co-hosting the show. So definitely come back around 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tomorrow to see that great alpha drop. And then at 4 o'clock tomorrow, I got Crusader coming on for the weekly recap over on MGBX. So I want you guys to, for sure, come join me then. Let me pull that up really quickly. I got my guy coming in. Haven't talked to him in a while, but Crusader, Bitcoin Crusader, will be in with us tomorrow only on X at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on MGBX_global. So go follow that account right now as well, so you can be tuned for the alpha that's dropped there. That's it, ladies and gents. Thanks for tuning in. It's your boy Crypto Blood, and I'm out of here, people. Holla.
Yo, it's Crypto Blood, Detroit flow, streaming from the D, knowing what to show. Indicators are wrong point, OG since 12, invested in trade, living life like a pro. I'm Rucker, Jerry, and just Bloods do. Bad motherfucker in a good way, boo. Got my eyes on the charts, ain't no time to sleep. Get that money, gotta keep it creep. That's why Crypto Blood, just the toasters on the line. Stacking my coin, got the market on my mind. Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum too. Cash is king, but I'm looking for a new move. I know the culture of the markets like the streets. Got my finger on the pulse, can't nobody beat. I see the trends, I see the flow. Got my strategies in place, you know.
Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Okay. Ready?
Fucking thing sucks. We'll do it live.
Okay.